It's crazy. Sometimes labor, like manual labor, we think that's like the hardest type of work. I've found the hardest type of work for a lot of us is just thinking and stretching our mind. What's up, y'all? My name is Greg Brown, and I want to share with you guys a quick tool, very simple, very succinct. I have some other videos that kind of explain the storyline and backdrop behind all of it, but I want to share this as brief as possible because I genuinely believe this is something that can change someone's life if they're willing to be courageous enough and patient enough to just sit down for a second, eliminate all these freaking distractions, and just take the time to do this, okay? One of the things that I found when you go on this journey of just trying to grow, develop, get better, read, personally develop, podcasts, all this different stuff, is you start learning about goal setting and dreams, and like not having a spirit of fear, especially if you start to develop your faith walk and all this different stuff. And when you look at the human mind, there's two sides to the mind. You have the right brain, which is more like the creative, all right, the visual side, and then you have the left brain, which is more rational, logical, analytical, and so forth. And so this exercise I found allows you to kind of tap into both of those, which means like having a spirit of faith, not fear, and also being able to analyze and rationalize things, because faith without works is dead. So I want you to think really, really quickly about a battery, right? When you look at a battery has two sides to it, right? And I don't know all the mechanics behind it, but a battery needs a positive and a negative charge to be able to function, to work properly, right? Sometimes what happens in our life is that we're like overly negative and we get in our bag, right? And we're just upset. This is where we become highly pessimistic. And I always talk about like in cynical, mystic. And then we also have the right side of the brain, which is like more creative. And this is when we become like overly optimistic, sometimes even delusional, right? Just big dreamers, all this different stuff. And what I found is you will not be able to operate at your capacity if you are only operating one of these. And so this exercise allows us to kind of tap into both of these at the same time, right? So what I want you to do is this, very brief, take a white piece of paper out. Simple. I'm telling you, it's the easiest thing to do. Some of you guys won't even do it. It takes 30 minutes. I promise you, this is going to help you with your clarity, especially on the things that knowing what you want and then knowing what you don't want, so you can take in the things that add value to you and push out the things that are not in alignment for you, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a white piece of paper. I'm going to draw it here. Okay, very simple. On this white piece of paper, I want you to write down 15 things that you want. 15 desires that you have, 15 goals that you have, whatever the case may be, okay? Here's a big caveat. You cannot limit yourself on these, okay? Like you cannot, no limits, zero limits, whatever comes to mind. If you're sitting there, you're thinking, because what'll happen is, and Steve Harvey has a video where he talks about like doing 300. If you want, do all 300, but if you're like, I don't know about all that, do 15. What'll happen is you're probably gonna stop at 7. You're probably gonna stop at 8. And you're gonna be thinking hard, and then there's gonna be this goal that you had when you were a kid of like owning a tiger or something. Hear me out. It's gonna pop to your mind. You're gonna be like, nah, that's stupid. I'm not putting that down. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do not limit yourself and put yourself in a box based on your rational mind yet. We're not there yet. I need you to first fully activate this creative mind, the goals, the dreams. Activate that first. Write down what the goals are. Write down 15 of them. Don't limit yourself. Be honest. Don't lie to yourself. Don't suppress yourself. Also, don't write certain goals because someone wants you to achieve that. Don't lie to yourself that way either, right? So don't give too much of a goal because someone wants it, or too little of a goal because you're afraid. Just be real. Just you're with yourself. Be honest. Write it down, okay? Now that you've done that, you have your 15. What I want you to do is I want you to flip this piece of paper over, and now this is where the rational mind, the pessimistic mind is going to come in. Now what I want you to do is I want you to do the same exact thing, but I want you to do 15, and this time it's going to be 15 like worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario, meaning if I don't take action on the goals that I have, what does my life look like? Right? It's kind of like when you think of like dreams and nightmares, right? Here's the thing though, right? If you look at if you're a believer, if you study the Bible, if you have faith, whatever it may be, you understand where it says God didn't give us a spirit of fear, okay? This is not about stirring up your fears. This is about awareness, okay? This is about awareness. It's the awareness to say, I have these big goals and dreams, and if I don't take action, worst case scenario, this is what my life could look like, right? 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, if I don't do anything, what does my life look like, okay? Just as creative as you got when it comes to like the big vision here, the goals and dreams, get that creative here. You gotta stretch with this. You gotta stretch your mind. It's crazy. Sometimes like manual labor, we think that's like the hardest type of work. I've found the hardest type of work for a lot of us is just thinking and stretching our mind. That's it, right? And so sit down, breathe for a second, 30 minutes, an hour. Out of your 168 hours in your week, take 1 hour, turn off the TV, turn off the PlayStation, put your phone aside, turn off Twitter, turn off Sora, AI videos, Instagram, Threads, turn it all off. Get a white piece of paper. It's the easiest thing you can do on the face of the planet. And still, some people won't do it. It's so easy. 15 things that you want, goals that you have, 15 things that you don't want. And by the way, y'all, I feel this level of nervousness even sharing this with y'all. Why? Because I know it works. And I know people are going to freaking wake up doing this. And I'm like, dang, I'm going to have to... I'm not the only one that, I'm not the only one that knows this anymore, right? So I'm telling you, because here's the thing, I've studied so many personal development coaches, all this different stuff. And one of the things that always happens is we talk about the plus side, but we kind of shy away from the negative side, like almost like the negative energy because we think that that's a bad thing, right? As a man thinketh, so he becomes. So if I think about this, I become this. It's not always the case here because we're not saying focus on this, but we are saying be aware. We have to be aware of the consequences of both sides, right? The word consequence with sequence. Consequence, con, right? Like if you speak Spanish or if you speak con, with sequence. So sequence is what? In sequence, first thing, second thing. So with sequence is what comes after what you do. So if you take an action in the right direction, you need to know what the positive consequence is. And then you also need to be aware of what the negative consequence is if you don't take action. If you do nothing, if you keep letting fear overcome you, if you keep letting procrastination, laziness, lack of clarity keep you stuck. By the way, y'all, the reason why I'm aware of this is because I'm somebody who with a massive capacity, massive abilities, level of work ethic, all this different stuff, went flat, got stuck for years, beating my head on the wall, not sure like what the freaking heck is wrong with me. And I realized it's because I was so focused on my goals and dreams. I'm such a positive person. I'm such all this different stuff. I was losing awareness of what happens when I don't take action on those dreams. So for a season, I became all faith, no works. There was one season where I was all works, no faith, all faith, no work. It's a very special place to be when you have the level of belief and faith to know who you are and then the action to back it up. That's real belief. Just to say you believe is not true faith. Frederick Douglass has a quote. He says, what did he say? My prayers started working when I started praying with my legs, right? I think that's very powerful because it's like praying with your legs, faith and works. So try it, please. I'm begging you, not for me, but for you. If you're out there and you're like, you've been stuck for years, you've been hitting your head on a wall, the only reason is not because of the job you have, it's not because of the system, the system of the world, it's not any of that. It's your clarity. You either only know what you don't want or only know what you want or neither. But when you know what you want and you know what you don't want, things get very clear. You can settle in and get focused on the life that you want to create. Not just for you, but also for the people around you as well. Hope this helps, y'all. Take care. Peace.